4 ingredients is all you need for this amazing crock pot recipe. Today we are making root beer pulled pork. Hi, my name's Christina. I'm with eatingonadime.com. Welcome to my sister's kitchen. My sister Carrie and I are on a mission to help real families eat at home, even on a budget. And if you've been following us for a while, you know we love crock pot cooking. It's the best way to get dinner done every night. I'm going to show you guys how to make the best crock pot root beer pulled pork. It only requires 4 ingredients and it's so good. This recipe is easy enough to make for a weeknight dinner, but fancy enough to make when you're having company or you're watching a sporting event or anything like that. It's awesome. You're gonna love it. I have linked today's recipe in the description below, as well as our Crockpot cookbook that's on major sale. So if you love crockpot cooking as much as us, make sure that you check it out. Before we get started, let's talk about the crock pot I'm using today. I am using a green pan multi-cooker. I'm going to link it in the description below. Warning, it is a little bit of a higher price point, but we think that it's worth every single penny. Now, if it's out of your price range, I understand, I get it. We are going to link some other crock pots that we love as well that's a little bit more affordable. We use the crock pot all the time, so we kind of make an investment. So if you're like that, you may want to consider it. Our favorite things about this is that it is easy to clean. It's a non-stick insert that comes out. Cleanup is a breeze and it cooks evenly and great every single time. All right, let's get started. You guys are going to be blown away by how easy this is. It's almost too easy to make a video, but here we are. All right, first you need a pork roast. I am using a 4-pound pork roast. You can use a pork shoulder. You can use a pork butt, any that you prefer. About 4 pounds is great. This one does have a bone in, which is totally fine because we're going to shred this and we'll pull it out. You can use boneless, bone in, whatever you would like. I recommend that you get whatever is the best price point and in your budget, because once you get all these ingredients in there and it's cooked in the crock pot, it tastes amazing either way. And also, if you're looking for something that's a little bit lower fat content, like if you're counting that in your diet, you could use some pork tenderloins. That would be amazing in this recipe. All right, the pork's been added. Then we're gonna do 1 cup barbecue sauce. Now, when we are cooking in the crock pot, we always tell people, use an expensive barbecue sauce. You don't need to be fancy here. I always tell people, use the half open bottles that you got in your refrigerator, because I know you got some, because I do. I got a couple, I'm sure. Dump those in here. Let's use what we have. It's going to save even more money. And then, of course, we need a root beer because it's in the title and you got to have a root beer. I'm using a canned root beer today. You need about 12 ounces for this recipe. So some people may be like, why root beer? It adds a lot of flavor and it makes it really tender when it cooks. Now, if you're not a root beer fan, it's okay. I'm not gonna go get a root beer and drink a root beer, but I love this recipe. So you may love it even if you're not a huge fan of root beer. But let's talk about some substitutions. You can use any dark soda. So when I say dark soda, I'm talking Coke, Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper would be great. And I do not recommend the diet for this recipe because it's the sugar in here that really helps break down the meat and adds a lot of flavor. That's literally it. Then just make sure you cover it. Only thing left to do is turn it on. Now for this recipe, you can cook it on low for 10 hours or on high for half the time for about 5 hours. Let's go ahead and get this started. Now, generally, Carrie and I will say you can do low or high. Either way is going to be about the same. But with that disclaimer, any types of large chunks of meat, so I'm talking about your pork roast, your pork shoulders, your beef roast, all of that, we do like it better on the low setting. So I am going to recommend this one be cooked on the low setting. There's just something about it cooking slow and low all day that makes the pork way more tender. So this is the one that you want to get up early, get it going, and then it'll be ready for you by the time dinner's ready. Okay, it's on. I'll see you in a few hours. Okay, it's ready. Now, I was just talking about whether or not to use a cutting board or a plate to shred this. You do have to take it out and shred it. And my sister actually said that she uses a plate because it has a rim. So if you have any juices, you don't have to worry about it like running off the countertops and making a big mess. So I kind of love that tip. I usually do a cutting board at my house, but I think I'm going to switch it to the cake. All right, look at that. Look at all that steam. That's how you know it's cooked and it's beautiful. So what we want to do now is I already kind of tested a piece to make sure that it was nice and easy to shred. You want to pull that chunk of pork right out of the crock pot and put it on that plate. And then we're just going to quickly shred it with 2 forks. And you want it to be nice and super like easy to pull apart. That's how you know it's done. If it's not shredding easily, that means it needs to cook longer. So kick your crock pot on over to high and cook it longer until it shreds super easily. It's all shredded. Now I removed the bones and I just removed some of the fat pieces because it's not my favorite. But if you love that part, just leave it in. You do you. I'm not going to judge. So now let's talk about the remaining liquid in the crock pot. I find that proteins release all sorts of liquid now when they're cooked. Pork will release the liquid. You'll have some liquid. You want some liquid to keep it moist, but you don't want it super runny because we're going to serve this on sandwiches. So I drained off about half of my liquid. If there's a ton in there, don't be afraid to drain some off so it doesn't make soggy sandwiches. All right, so once that's drained, we're just going to dump this shredded pork right back into the crock pot and just stir it back in. So you just want to mix to get that pork down into the liquid. And then we are going to add in a little bit more barbecue sauce. So I like to add in half of the barbecue sauce in the beginning and let it cook in there. And then I like to top with the other half. So it just coats it a little bit better. It's thicker and it adds a lot of flavor when you're serving the sandwiches. So I do a cup for this amount of pork. I did a cup at the beginning and I'm doing a cup at the end. Now all that's left is to serve it up. So I love serving this on buns. It makes the best like pulled pork sandwiches. It's amazing. It's perfect for when you're having people over. Perfect for an easy weeknight dinner. On the sides, I usually just do like a big salad so I feel a little healthy and it works great. You could do chips as a side or french fries, whichever you like, but it makes the perfect, beautiful sandwich. All right, friends, I hope you try it out. I've linked this recipe in the description below. Once you try it out, please leave us a comment. We love hearing from you guys. Let us know what you think. Make sure you give us a star rating. We love seeing that. It's awesome. Also, don't forget, I've left our Crockpot digital cookbook linked in the description below. If you're interested in that, check it out. So until next time, guys, I hope I inspired you to make a quick and easy dinner for your family in your crock pot, and I will see you guys next time in my sister's kitchen. Bye, friends.